My name is Hugo Kanyingu Kabeya. I am a visual artist and researcher originally from the Democratic Republic of Congo. I was born in Bujimai and at the age of 4 moved to Lubumbashi temporarily to the Katanga region known for its mining. At the age of 4, we initially planned to move to South Africa, which we had then done. And our initial move to South Africa was because of the situation in Congo, where we tried to kind of look for much better social and also educational situations, and so that brought us to South Africa. While being in Lubumbashi and at such a young age, I didn't really know much about the area and couldn't quite remember growing up. But most recently, in the most recent years, I could say, as I did a bit more research about my home country and finding out its vast wealth in natural resources, I came across cobalt, which is a very fundamentally important material in our technological advancement. And just started to do a bit more research and trying to ask the question of why a country that has so much natural resources is then found to be so poor in a manner. And so that led me to do more research and try to work with this material of cobalt and other minerals such as coltan, lithium, and all of the others. And as an artist, my work explores a variety of subjects such as memory, social-political, and social-economic issues, and also just things of everyday life. And being someone who grew up in South Africa, I have a different view on so many things. And being a Congolese, I always try to keep my heritage as a Congolese and do what is necessary in terms of keeping my cultural customs and just applying the necessary things. With getting an invite to Idrija, Slovenia for the Peripheral Visions project, I was quite intrigued, and it opened up a new idea of how to kind of interpret minerals and also include them in my practice. My first impressions of Idrija were quite, I could say I was quite fascinated, because I found this place to be quite a community in the sense of where everybody knows each other, people are there to help each other, and just there's that sense of communication and connection with each other. Because I now found myself in a place again known and famous for its mining industry, and I tried to compare that to Congo, where I come from, and just the different ideas, where cobalt is seen as a very rich mineral, a mineral that's used quite often in the technological advancement area, and the color of it being blue, and then finding myself here in Idrija, where Mercury is now the most well-known mineral that's mined here, and just comparing these ideas of the color of blue and red, I think it was quite interesting, because now I can also find myself in a place where mining is or was a prime source of income, and just the idea that I'm now more conscious of my surroundings, because in Congo I was much younger and still a toddler, not knowing much or being conscious of the situation. So for me, I could say this was a second chance of finding myself in a space where I can get to learn more about mining, its effect on the land, just how it shapes a landscape as one and as a whole, yes. I also had the opportunity to work with cinnabar that comes from the mine. And at the beginning, I found this to be quite a bit of a challenge to work with, because I don't normally work with solid materials unless it's an installation piece. And so I tried my best to kind of see how I could incorporate the cinnabar into the artwork. And after a visit to the smelter museum, I then had a better idea of how I can incorporate this tough mineral, which was to kind of do the same thing which was done before by crushing it into a fine powder and leaving some bigger bits that I can incorporate and mix in with the paint. Because then when the paint is applied to the canvas, it now has this rough texture, and it can clearly be seen that this particular material still keeps its properties, as apart from having a smoother texture on the artwork. And so for me, I found the process to be quite intriguing, and just the idea that you can take a solid and hard material and make it into something beautiful. As in many forms, we look at other materials such as gold and diamond in their purest state, and we look at how they look like when they are a finished product, through the refining, through the cutting, and all of those things. And for me, it was quite interesting working with this material and just finding other ways of reinterpreting it into my artwork.